Hey you, yes you, see all these wonderful people right here? They are my Patreons. With the support I get from them, I can afford to do my passion as a career and bring you guys weekly videos. Want to join them? For just $1 a month, you can get videos 24 hours before anyone else. And for even higher tiers, you can get Polaroids, letters, and mystery boxes from me to you. And even fursuit parts, not to mention my eternal thanks. So what are you waiting for? Become a Patreon today via the link in the description. Thanks again, enjoy the video. Alrighty, good morning everybody, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and welcome to the first episode of the Protoden in the new workshop. Today I'm currently working on my Furdo, so if you remember from this week in the workshop, I'm going to Furdo, but I'm also dealing, so I'm currently in crunch mode. But today's Friday, which means it's my personal project / trade day, and I'm currently making a reindeer for a trade with Creature Creations and Costumes. This is their wonderful work, and they're wanting reindeer, so I need to make hooves, and I've never made hooves before. I bought some patterns online, and I just didn't, they weren't particularly going for the look that I wanted, so I'm going to try, keyword, to make my own. I don't know how it's gonna go. Yeah, I'm just gonna start guessing. That's literally the entire aim of the game. I've studied the other handful patterns and I have a rough idea of how it should look. And I've just been, you can probably see up here, I've been looking at pictures of reindeer hooves, which they have 4 fingers. Did you know that? I didn't know that. They have like splooty feet. Like, I'll put a picture up here, sploot feet. So we're gonna make some sploot feet. Ignore the Drecubus. I'm waiting for my 3D printer to come back still dead. But ignore the Drecubus, they're just chilling. Alright, let's get going. So I'm going to start. So I've had a look and you can see I've kind of been messing around with like shapes and stuff. The handful patterns that I've seen, they don't really have that clear like this shape. If you can kind of see that. That was a shit demonstration. It's like 2 lines and then the curves like that. But reindeer also have these little splooty boys off to the side like that. That makes sense. I'll show you, see if I can show the camera. Like that. So that's what we're going to go with. So I'm going to start with my usual kind of hand paw shape, which is kind of like that. So I'm just going to start with this. Too wide. More paper, next. I mean, I kind of still hate it. I won't lie. Hold on a minute. So if I go like dot there, you know, I need it to be like around about that wide, for me at least. Yeah. Okay. I think this is the one we're going to go with. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to use this side as the symmetry side. Gonna make that angle a bit sharper. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do now. So I'm gonna mirror that. But for now, this will do us. Okay. So now this is just going to be 2 of these, because I feel like the thumb bit doesn't need to have that 3D shape, but we're going to try to model this 3D shape here of this. So I'm taking a measurement from here to here. So this is going to be 6.5 centimeters. This will be 6.5 centimeters. We want it to measure this bit, so that's going to be 7.5 centimeters. And this bit here comes all the way to the tip. I'm going to measure this bit all the way along to there, which is going to be 13.5 centimeters. So now that we have those measurements, our first bit on the top is going to be, so we're going to have 2 of these, one that's on the bottom and one that's on the top, I think, because we're going to duplicate this piece, so it has to be shaped like that. Has to be. Hopefully. And then we're going to have a bit that sits in here that kind of gives it that puffiness. So we know it has to be 7.5 in length. And now we want to guess how much space we want here. So I'm going to go with that much for this size pattern. This should fit most. Like, I don't think the customer has that big hands, so I think it should be okay being that size. I might make it a little bit bigger, but that's fine. And we're going to basically, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to curve it. I'm going to give it a pretty steep curve. I'm going to curve it like this. Like that. Like that, and I think that's going to sit, so that's at the base, and then it comes towards the front. So it's kind of like that, but I'm just kind of altering it slightly. So we're going to test that straight away. I realized a flaw in my logic, because if I have this, then, because that's going to sit like that, right? But you can't have just another bit on top like that, because this bit has to be wider / longer. So I'm thinking I need to measure this bit here. So I don't really make patterns. That's 9.5. I don't really make patterns. It's not really what I do. But the thing, here's the kicker. This bit needs to be the same. So that means that so this is the bit that I'm going to use here. Let's fucking give it a crack. And we're going to cut it out of our fabric. I'm just going to use it's a non-stretch kind of minky. We use it for upholstery. I'm going to use that for our tester. So, done. I have 3 pieces. Now this is only for 1. We're going to just test it out and we're going to see the shape and if we like it or not. So I'm going to grab my sewing machine. I actually redid the bit with, I got rid of this one because I thought it looked like shit. So I got this one instead, and I'm like, why don't I just extend a side? That makes a lot more sense, don't you think? Like, why? What? Because that stays the same. It's just extending that. It's big brain. So that bit is going to go there, and then this bit's going to sit on top, like that. So let's pin these 2 together and. I reckon that'll do me, to be honest, for the hoof shape, I think. Because it kind of has that flat side, like that's a good shape for me. These are the 3 pieces I've got. And then I need to cut out these bits here. And we're going to crack out a test pair. I guess it's the process is going to be very similar to my hand pour tutorial, I guess. Yeah, just gonna cut that out, mirror it, put it on the other side. It's just gonna be the same process with the same stuffing as well. I'm gonna pat pillows and put it in there, and hopefully that'll flesh it out enough that it will look uniform, is my goal. I want it to look uniform. So let's cut this out. Alright, so I've scaled this up. I've scanned it in and I've scaled it up about 150%. It's gonna be pretty big, but I'd much rather it be too big than too small. So we're gonna give this a good old crack. Now I'm tempted to have a fuck around with adding maybe some like kind of batting to the bottom of it, because the one beef I have with hoof paws and thinner fabrics like Minky is that you can always see the fingers kind of poking through the bottom, so I'm thinking I might sew some quilted broadcloth onto this piece so that it doesn't look awful. Also, I've noticed that in the reindeer they have these little like fluffies around the toes, so I think I will incorporate that into the patterning here, because I have artistic liberty here technically, so I'm gonna add some fluffies, I think. So that one, that one, that one. So with the inner, we need to do 4 because we need 2 different hand paws. With this one, we also need to do 4. For the bottom, we need to do 4. 4 of each. Okay, that's a nice number. Okay, and then I'm actually going to do this on top of this, so that it's got the fluffies, like so. And that bit there is going to be a bit that kind of goes over the tips of it. In case you're wondering what I'm using to trace onto this, it's liquid chalk. So it's just chalk that's been kind of liquefied, and it washes off really nicely, and yeah. Correction, I need 8 of these. I need 8. Alright, now we've got our pieces, we're going to start sewing them together. So I think I'm definitely going to start with the hands, with the fingers I mean. This is the fur bits. I've got this little tuft on the top there, which I think will look really good. So when I do these, I have this which is quilted broadcloth, and I've cut it out, and I'm hoping this will give it a bit more uniformity. Like when you have Minky fingers and stuff, I find that they tend to like shrivel and look a bit wrinkly. I'm hoping this will offset that. So what I'm going to do, so I'd usually sew these two together like that. So I'm going to put the wrong, so oops, they need to go like that. So the wrong sides together is what I want. It's like that. So yeah, like that. I'm going to lay out all of these. I need to do 4 of these. Alright, hopefully my camera didn't cut out too early on, but now I'm gonna hand sew the hoof bits, the hoof fingers into the palm pieces. These I don't have to do like dick around with paw pads. I hate doing paw pads. Like, they look really good when they're done, but they are such a pain to do. So I'm pretty stoked that I don't have to do them for these. And the hoof claw things haven't been too difficult, so it's time. It's almost break time for me actually, but I'll sew this one on and we'll have a break. Get some charge to my camera. So I'm basically taking the flat bit, so this bit has the like lining. So this is going to be the bottom of the paw, and we're going to sew it along that top line. Okay, we've sewn both sides together. I've left the sides open. I've decided, even though I've made these so that you can stick your finger in it, I think I'm gonna leave it because, like, it's just, I don't know if I could position it nicely so that it would work that great, I guess. Like, it's such a small thing, so I'm thinking that I might just leave it out and just have the two. So you just kind of do that instead. That's what I think I'll do. Maybe I'll do it. I'll do it. We'll try. I've got to try. Now everything's sewn together, we're going to turn it right side out and we're going to see how it looks. We don't have the stuffing or pads for it yet, so we won't be able to completely see how it looks, but we're going to have a sneak peek. If I want to, I can stick my thumb in here. It's a little bit weird feeling. If you'd like to. I personally wouldn't. I would just literally just do that. Okay. That is looking pretty good actually. I'm not too upset with that. Make sure I push all that out to the ends there. And add a big bit of stuffing in the back here so that you can see it's kind of like flimsy and you can kind of see my fingers. Like, the bottoms aren't too bad, but once I add the padding, hopefully it'll be good. So I'm going to repeat this process. Okie dokie. Where'd the other one go? It's here. Alright. So we have two hoofers. The start of two hoofers. The next thing I need to do is to create an insert to go into here, essentially. But I wonder if that piece that I threw away is still hanging around, because that might be an idea, I think. Oh, actually no, I think I'll just use this. So this is the top piece that I used before. So I'm going to trace this onto some folded over, this is scuba knit I'll be using, I think. So basically you're already just sewing two pieces together, but you're sewing it on one solid piece. You'll see what I mean. And then I'm going to stuff them, turn them inside out, stuff them, sew them closed, and put them inside the paw. And that will mean that I can have them puff out and hopefully fill that gap and not make it look too like flimsy. That's my goal anyway. We'll see how we go, but let's crack on with that. Alright, I have my pads now. Fingers crossed this achieves what I want it to achieve. So you basically just grab it, and yeah, it's much better. It's not bad. It's not bad for a first go, and especially when you get your fingers right in there, it looks really good. And obviously if you used like something like vinyl or something like that, you would have a much kind of more solid finish, but I wanted to give this a good crack. I don't think it looks too bad. Alright, I'm gonna hem it and then sew up the holes. Let's go. Alright, I'm going to say that this one is done, so I can close the video up and just hardcore focus to get these completely done. I just got to clean up some stuff and probably trim the top of these, but these are done and they look pretty good, don't they? I'm pretty happy with this for a first attempt, for sure. I would like to get them a little bit neater next time, especially like on the tip of this one, it's a bit bunchy, but you know what? I don't think that's too shabby. So yes, thank you guys for watching this episode of Protoden, and I'll see you next time. Reindeer goodbye.